Have you ever thought about coming back home to find 4 blood-soaked bodies waiting for you? The year was 2020, during the lockdown, and in Prayagraj, a murder took place that shook the entire city. 4 murders, no robbery, and no trace of the killers. Who were these monsters, and why was this entire family killed? Before we start the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the Horrific Crime channel. Today, we are going to talk about the Keservani family case. This story starts in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. It was 2020, and in the Dhumnaganj police station area, there was a colony called Pritam Nagar. In this colony, Atish lived with his family. Even though there was a lockdown at the time, essential services like banks were open. On May 14, 2020, Atish had to deposit his monthly income, so he went to a bank in Katra. Atish left home at 1:30 p.m. and returned at 3:45 p.m. The door of his house was locked, but when he pushed it, it opened easily. There was an eerie silence inside the house. There were no sounds of anyone speaking or moving. Cautiously, he called out to his mother, and as he entered, the ground slipped from beneath his feet. His father, Atish Keservani, mother, Kiran, and sister Niharika were lying in a pool of blood on the floor. Seeing this scene, Atish screamed and started crying loudly. His cries alerted the neighbors, who gathered outside his house. When the neighbors looked inside, they saw the horrifying scene. The throats of the 3 people inside had been slit. Atish, crying, clung to the neighbors and asked about his wife Priyanka. He was told that when he left, Priyanka had been at home. The neighbors took him to the upper floor, where Priyanka's blood-soaked body was found in the bedroom. Her throat had also been slit. Everyone there was shocked. Someone immediately informed the police, and since this area was under the Dhumnaganj police station jurisdiction, the police arrived quickly. The case was very serious, and soon, senior police officers were also present at the scene. The murder of 4 people from the same family during the lockdown was a major concern for the police. When the police inspected the scene, a crowd had gathered outside the house. Some people were watching from their windows and balconies. The 63-year-old Atish Keservani's family was well known in the colony. Their house was divided into 2 parts. One side was their shop, and the other was the main entrance to the house. This meant that the killers had entered through the front door. When the police began their investigation, they found Atish's body near the shop, with his 60-year-old wife Kiran's body on the other side of the counter, and their 28-year-old daughter Niharika's body nearby. All 3 had been brutally murdered. When the police searched the upper room, Priyanka's body was also found, drenched in blood. However, something strange stood out. The cabinets, valuable items, and money in the house were untouched. It appeared that the killers had only intended to commit murder, not robbery. This clearly indicated that the murder was planned. Given the seriousness of the case, police officers also arrived at the scene. A forensic team and a dog squad were called in. The entire house was covered in blood, and the police were still unsure about the killer's motive because nothing in the house had been tampered with. When the dog was released inside, it followed a scent for about 200 meters before stopping. The killers had vanished, and this remained a mystery. The police closely examined the main door of the house, but there were no signs of forced entry. This meant that the killers had entered the house with ease, either with the help of a family member or because they were familiar with every corner of the house. The house had CCTV cameras, but the DVR was missing. This made it clear that the killers had planned this meticulously and didn't want to leave any trace behind. Now the police faced the biggest question. Who were the killers, and why did they commit such a horrific act? When the people in the colony learned about the murder, they quickly gathered outside Atish Keservani's house. Despite the lockdown, a crowd gathered outside their house. Seeing so many people, even the police officers were shocked that people could be so angry and cause a commotion. This suspicion was not without reason, as there was a cause behind it. About 2 months earlier, in March, in the city's Sorav police station area, 4 members of the same family, father, son, daughter-in-law, and grandson, were brutally murdered. All were killed by having their throats slit. The only survivor was the family's son, who had been in Surat, Gujarat at the time of the incident. Then, in the first week of May, 3 people from another family, husband, wife, and daughter, were murdered in their sleep, with their throats slit as well. In both cases, the police had not reached any conclusions, nor had any arrests been made. Now, this was the third shocking incident in the Tulsidas Keservani family, which angered the people, and their frustration was growing. Police officers summoned additional police teams from various police stations of the district to the scene. While the officers were preparing to send the bodies for post-mortem, they asked the neighbors if they had heard any screams. The neighbors said they had not heard any sound, leading to the assumption that either all family members had been given sleeping pills, or there were so many assailants that they could easily overpower the whole family before carrying out the crime. Now only one person was left in the house, Tulsidas Keservani's only son, 32-year-old Ashish alias Atish. When the police questioned Atish, he stated that for about a year and a half, he had been working hard to pay for the house rent. On the day of the incident, he had gone to a bank in Katra, and when he left home, all his family members were fine. But when he returned home at 3:45 p.m., the door was locked from the inside. He managed to open the door, and upon entering, he found blood splattered all over the house, and all his family members were lying dead. Atish started crying uncontrollably as he explained this. The case was extremely serious, but the police suspected that it might involve a relative of the family. After preliminary questioning, the police sent the 4 bodies for post-mortem. To solve the murder case, the police formed several teams, each tasked with different aspects of the investigation. One team was assigned to collect call details of the family to identify who was present at the time of the incident. Another team began checking CCTV footage. There was a CCTV camera outside the house, but upon investigation, it was found to be broken. The police then started to investigate who had been coming and going from the house. They first summoned Atish for questioning. During this process, the police learned that Atish had an affair with a woman, which led to frequent arguments in his home. This information was very crucial for the investigation, so the police needed to explore this angle. They first asked Atish if he or his father had any enemies. Then they began questioning his relatives, friends, and acquaintances who often visited their house. The police were thoroughly investigating every possible lead to uncover the truth as quickly as possible. When the police asked Atish about the woman with whom he had an affair, Atish's face turned red. He said, "Sir, I am married. How could I do such a thing when my wife Priyanka is with me? Can a married man have relations with other women?" In response, the police sternly said, "Some men are like that. Are you one of them?" Atish immediately replied, "No, sir, I am not like that." The police then said, "If you aren't, then why do you argue with your wife and parents?" Atish clearly stated, "Sir, sometimes there are disagreements over family matters. This happens in every home." However, the police didn't find his answer satisfactory and sternly replied, "Don't lie, this wasn't just a family matter. In fact, you were arguing with your wife and parents because of your relationship with that woman. You have been seen fighting with your family many times. Now don't say that all of this is a lie." Hearing the harsh tone of the police, Atish became scared. He realized his lies wouldn't hold up for long, and tears welled up in his eyes. He began begging, "Sir, forgive me. I made a huge mistake. Because of me, my family turned into enemies." The police, calming him down, said, "Sometimes a person becomes so blinded by their own desires that they end up harming their own family." Then Atish gave a shocking statement. "Sir, I am responsible. I gave an 8 lakh contract for the murder of my family." When the police interrogated Atish further, a story of betrayal and murder unfolded that shocked the officers. Tulsidas Keservani and his family lived in the upscale Pratamnagar colony. Originally from Manjimpur, Kaushambi, they had settled in Prayagraj years ago. His wife, Kiran, son Ashish alias Atish, and daughter Niharika alias Gudia were part of the family. Tulsidas Keservani ran a shop called Gudia Electricals, selling electrical equipment, which had been running well despite being in a colony. The family was doing fine, and they had educated their children well. After completing graduation, their son Atish began working with his father, and over time, Tulsidas entrusted him with the full responsibility of the shop. For assistance, they had hired a young man named Anuj. About 4 years ago, Atish fell in love with a woman named Priyanka. The Keservani family was old-fashioned, and Tulsidas had big dreams for his son's marriage. However, when his son married his chosen woman, he reluctantly accepted Priyanka as his daughter-in-law. Priyanka, despite the challenges, adapted well to the family and behaved appropriately. She won everyone's heart, even her own sister-in-law. She became even closer to Niharika and started living like sisters. Everything was going well until 6 months ago, when a woman named Monica Badhala entered Atish's life, and the Keservani family began facing problems because of her. Monica's husband Divya couldn't work, and the family's financial situation was so bad that they barely had enough to eat. In such circumstances, Monica decided to work at home to support the family's needs. One day, Monica came to ask for work from Tulsidas Keservani's family. Tulsidas's wife, Kiran, took pity on her and hired her to do household work. Monica was not only beautiful, but also very good at her work. Because of her hard work and skills, the Keservani family grew fond of her, and they began treating her with kindness. She felt comfortable in the family and started living as if she were part of it. Monica, being young and cheerful, began to attract Atish. Gradually, Atish became more drawn to Monica, despite being married. He liked her beauty and her cheerful nature. Their closeness grew, and Atish started helping her financially. This strengthened their bond, and they became very close to each other. One day, they both betrayed their spouses and fulfilled their physical desires. Once it started, it continued. Now, Atish began helping Monica in every way, which boosted her confidence. She started living in the house with more authority and began behaving as if she were a family member when the opportunity arose. Atish would take Monica to malls, restaurants, and other places. He tried to keep their affair a secret, but eventually, one day his secret was exposed. Atish's sister Niharika had already suspected Monica, but when she saw her brother with Monica in a compromising situation, her suspicion turned to certainty. She couldn't hide it and told their mother, who became furious. She not only scolded her son, but also decided to throw Monica out of the house. However, when she told Atish about it, he opposed her and promised to stay away from Monica. His family thought everything would be fine now, but nothing changed. Whenever he got the chance, Atish would meet Monica and fulfill his physical desires. When Priyanka found out about this, she created a ruckus at home. In a fit of anger, Atish beat his wife. Everyone at home tried to calm him down, but nothing worked. Slowly, due to his actions, everyone in the house began to hate him. Niharika found a photo where Atish and Monica were together. She threatened him, saying that if he didn't leave Monica, she would post the photo on social media. Terrified, Atish agreed, telling her that if she deleted the photo, he would stop meeting Monica. Niharika agreed to delete it, but only if he stayed away from Monica for a few days. Initially, Atish stayed away, but soon he began meeting and talking to Monica again. This made Niharika very angry. Because of her relationship with Atish, Priyanka was mentally distressed. If she told her husband anything, he would beat her. This created constant tension in the house. Kiran, their mother, supported her daughter and daughter-in-law. In a fit of rage, Atish began to abuse his mother. The situation escalated to the point where he started physically abusing his parents. One day, the argument became so intense that a neighbor came over to try to calm him down, but Atish started being rude to him as well. This caused the neighbor to become upset. Tulsidas Keservani, Atish's father, was also very troubled. Finally, he consulted a good neighbor and decided to file a report at the police station against his son. When Atish found out that his father was going to the police, he was shocked. He knew that after the report was filed, the police could take action against him, so he apologized to his parents and promised that he would never do anything wrong again and would completely change. His parents, thinking that he had realized his mistake, forgave him and told him to walk the right path. However, Atish had other plans. He was thinking of killing his entire family and then inheriting all his father's property. After that, he would live comfortably with Monica. With this thought in mind, he contacted a person who had been working at his shop for several years, Anuj. Anuj was an opportunistic person. Atish gave him the contract to kill his family. Anuj, driven by greed, agreed to the job for 8 lakhs to murder 4 people. He received 75,000 in advance. However, Anuj felt that he couldn't carry out the plan alone, so he involved another person from the village, Ajuha, in the plan. They decided that it would be easier to slit the victims' throats than to shoot them. The murder was planned for May 14, 2020. At around 1:30 p.m., Atish went to the bank to avoid suspicion, and his footage was captured on the bank's CCTV cameras. Due to the lockdown, Tulsi Das's shop was closed. After leaving the house, Anuj, along with his uncle and friend, went to the Keservani house. The family knew Anuj, so there was no problem in him entering. He introduced himself to the family, and Anuj asked Tulsi Das for help. Tulsi Das, feeling pity for him, went to the shop to withdraw some money. As soon as Tulsi Das arrived at the shop, Anuj and his uncle followed him. When they reached there, they first gagged Tulsi Das and then slit his throat. As soon as Tulsi Das fell to the ground, his wife Kiran arrived and saw everything. The assailants then slit her throat as well. At that time, their daughter Niharika was on the upper floor. When she came downstairs, the killers slit her throat too. They then went upstairs and killed Priyanka as well. In this way, all 4 members of the family were killed. After the murders, they went to the bathroom to wash their blood-stained hands, then locked the door of the house and fled. Once the police were informed, they started the investigation. They first questioned the main accused, Atish, and then sent a team to his house to arrest the other accused. However, only Anuj Srivastava was caught, while the rest of the accused had fled their homes. When the police interrogated Anuj Srivastava, he confessed to his crime and revealed that it was Atish who had planned the entire thing. He was only involved due to greed for money. Afterward, the police presented the accused Anuj Srivastava and Atish in court, and they were sent to district jail. Friends, the purpose of narrating this incident is not to hurt anyone's feelings or cause distress, but to make you aware. Please share your views about this incident in the comment box, and if you liked our effort, do like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe to our terrifying crime channel. Thank you.